Grab your mouse ears and ready your wands. You're tuning in to Castles to Cauldrons, your ultimate guide to the magic, the thrills, and everything in between. From strolling right down the middle of Main Street, USA, to dodging fire-breathing dragons in Diagon Alley, we've got your theme park adventures covered. And now, sharing their hottest takes and best tips, here are your hosts, Jason, Micah, Rachel, and Terry.
Welcome to episode 57, Castles to Cauldrons. I'm your host, Jason Davis. I've got Terry here because Micah is on a cruise, and Rachel, even though we said she might come back, she's like, just no. So maybe next week. I don't know. She's gonna be like Lauren. Just we don't ever know when she's gonna show back up. Because it was just me and Terry, I asked two of our favorites to come back. Well, one favorite, and I'm leaning to not so favorite now. Siobhan is the favorite.
That's rude.
And then Allison, flat Earth, non-moon believing, moon landing believing.
Well, you don't need to put all that out there.
there.
Some of it I just find intriguing.
We don't know if Allison will be back after this episode. She doesn't like facts. How are y'all?
Excellent.
I'm good. It's spring break here in our area, so child's been home all week doing some fun stuff, but just busy.
This is y'all's 7th time on, isn't it?
Wow.
I've
It
lost
really
track,
is.
but I know it's been a while.
It has been a while, I feel like.
Yeah.
It has, yeah.
It was after we got back from training in September.
Wow.
It was September, October, y'all came on and we talked about our Disney day, which I don't think Rachel was on that episode either.
Rachel's a
I'm telling you, I was
busy
thinking Rachel
businesswoman.
has something against me.
I think she does too. Oh, it's been fun though. Like we're seeing everything kind of come around, and Rachel's going to start getting less busy. Her mom's out of town, so she's running the business behind the scenes a lot. So Siobhan gets to come in and be the Rachel this week. So
Although
Yeah.
Siobhan, she helps a lot too.
She does. That's why she's the Rachel and you're the Micah. And not even Micah. I don't know. Micah might believe that we never went to the moon either. We'll have to discuss that.
We'll have to ask her.
Spaceship
That
Earth will
can
be the
be an
theme on the next
episode.
Allison.
Right.
episode.
Maybe we can do a special episode on just Disney conspiracies
I
and
think
where
that's a
we
great
fall.
idea.
Is Walt
Is Walt
dead?
frozen?
Yeah.
Ooh, there you go.
Which I've been to his grave, which isn't a grave because he's not buried. He was.
I was going to say, anyone can have a marked area that's a grave. Doesn't mean they're in there.
But he's cremated. But if you watch Escaping Tomorrow, which is a B movie that was like filmed guerrilla style in Magic Kingdom in Disneyland and Epcot, he's frozen underneath Epcot since that was his baby. We don't really have an agenda today. We're just going to talk some news that we've missed over the last little bit. I did want to kind of start with a randomness because we are coming off of Easter as we record this. This is the Thursday after Easter. So, it's been a week when this comes out. What is your favorite Easter egg in Walt Disney World?
Like, you mean
What
like
do
an
you
Easter egg,
mean?
like Taylor Swift plants, like hidden things that you just have to look for?
Yeah, like whether it's your favorite hidden Mickey or just a random Easter egg.
Oh, you should have given us prep time for this one.
This
What's
was
yours?
not in my
What we
notes
think
today.
Say what, Siobhan?
This was not in my notes for this.
I know, but I had to give something that wasn't where you could Google it, because last time I asked about Santa pictures, somebody Googled how much it would cost to take a picture with Santa at the cake bake, and she answered it. So this has to be.
Who's
in the-
that?
I don't know who did
It's
that.
just that knowledgeable.
So for
It's
me,
Micah.
it was Allison when she wasn't learning the moon mission stuff.
Fake news.
So
I don't
my
know what my
favorite.
favorite one would be.
It's not necessarily like an Easter egg, but it's something cool. In Carousel of Progress, the final scene, there's the mom sitting at the desk. There's the little sketch people, that are circles, but you can change them in whatever direction you want to get the right form of a person. The cast members change those every day. So
Oh.
they'll be in different positions every day. Like they might be running one day, they might be high-fiving. So it's one of those things. It's just a small little Easter egg that's right there. It's kind of like the hidden Mickey and Haunted Mansion on the table. Supposedly the Imagineers don't like it, so when they go in the refurb, they move them back to where they should be. and then the cast members moving back to a hidden Mickey.
That's very important. I feel like it's like I don't think like anything I have would be that detailed.
No.
It's like I feel like I've heard of so many because I watch, videos about Disney all the time. But the only one that can come to mind right now that I just think is neat because I love learning about the Imagineers and watching shows about them are the fact that the tombstones right before you go in to the Haunted Mansion are nods to the Imagineers that worked on that ride. I'm trying to think of their names, but they're all, I think, little nods to the Imagineers that worked on that ride.
That's a good one.
That is.
Yeah.
And there's a diamond ring somewhere in that queue, isn't it?
Yes, it's the bride's engagement.
The bride's diamond ring is in the queue.
Not a
while
real
you're
diamond,
walking.
folks. It's just a ring with it's supposed to be a diamond ring. So don't go try to pull it out and
Pull the diamond out.
go pay for your vacation.
I know Siobhan's got to have one.
My
Fun
thing I was
fact.
thinking about was like, no matter your age or whatever, if you go by the Bippity Boppity Boutique, like they'll sprinkle pixie dust on you. I mean, that was like when you said Easter egg, like that's the first thing I thought of was like, it's a little free something or another you can get. Then you went real deep into the vault, and I was like, oh dear,
Wow.
this
I
does
know.
not sound so special anymore.
There's another one that I like, and it's partially gone.
Wait, let me do mine because
Well,
what
I
if
was
it's
giving you
the same
time
one
to
as me?
think. So
No, I mean, I just think about on the queue in the Little Mermaid attraction in Magic Kingdom when you stand in a certain spot, make the rock formations make out Steamboat Willie.
yes, I thought you were going to go for the
I didn't
November
know that.
18th
I
one.
didn't either.
You've never heard of the Steamboat Willie thing?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's when you're coming in. If you look toward the caves, you can see Steamboat Willie in the rock work. It's just a long Steamboat Willie.
I'm probably normally walking so fast because it never has a line that I'm just beelining it to
Next
the
time,
ride.
stop right there at the beginning. You can see it. The one in there that I like is the November 18th one. That's like at 11:11 or something, where the hidden Mickey, shows up just for a minute inside the queue. Like people line up and they try to pulse people through to see that hidden Mickey. But my real big one is and I mean this literally, the real big one. It's disappeared over the years. Is how Hollywood Studios was designed to be a giant Mickey face in front of the Chinese theater. So if you went into the air and took
I
a
can
picture
see
of
that.
Urinal, the Echo Lake was one ear. The other ear was painted on top of the brown derby in those stores over there. Then there were two eyes and the nose in front of the castle. So you can still slightly see that from like Google Earth and everything. It's just not kept up anymore because they've kind of let it go. I
That's
figured that was
cool.
a good little
That's fun.
fun thing.
I do have one from my son that he always tells us when we go that the American flags that hang up, I think they have an extra star.
They're all different. They're
Yes,
not.
they're all so they don't have to be pulled down in rain and weather and every night. So the American flags are not authentic
Yeah, they're
American
either
flags.
extra stars, less
Yeah.
stripes, inverse stripes, stuff like that.
So in case you're wondering why they're up during weather and everything there,
They're
Disney's
not
not
really
disrespecting the US.
So while we're talking about Easter, let's go straight into this nice topic. Over the Easter week at Walt Disney World, this was actually pretty interesting because it was something I wondered what happened my first trip on how bus transportation worked. So Disney stopped all bus transportation from Disney Springs to non-resort guests. You had to be staying at a hotel to get on the bus to go to that hotel.
Or have a dining reservation.
Right, or dining reservation. It's done now by the time you're hearing this record, so don't worry about it. But they've implemented it once. That means they'll probably implement it during Christmas or Thanksgiving, 4th of July, any of these really busy weeks. So people, and the thing is that people were parking at Disney Springs, hopping on a resort bus, and then hopping on a bus from the resort to the park so they could get free parking. So we're trying to, get around paying that $30 to park, and Disney squashed it. But what are y'all's thoughts on that?
I think that someone's going to a lot of trouble to save a parking cost, not to mention if you're doing it for your whole park day, Disney Springs doesn't open till 10 a.m. You're losing valuable hours if you take that approach for sure. And then just the time to go to the resort if you're not going to a resort that's walkable distance to a theme park. Like, man, I don't think you could sign me up for that. I'm going to budget for the parking.
Yeah, that takes an awful long time.
The time was the first thing I thought was, if it's worth it to you, I guess. And I'm sure this is one of those things that started off as like a quote unquote hack that was posted on TikToks and videos and stuff that someone did and they shared it and then a bunch of people started. So it started clogging up the bus system. So Disney had to stop it. But I mean, if you're in a resort and you have a reservation for a breakfast at another resort or in the park, I mean, you know how hard it is to like budget your time to make sure you get out of bed and you get dressed in time to catch the, because you're not just going to arrive there and go anyway, So to say my dinner reservation's at 6, but we have to make it to Disney Springs by 3:30, so we can walk to the buses. So we can do the bus here, then take the bus here, then walk. It's like, is it like she said, it's $30. Well, it's not cheap parking, but is it worth all that at the end of the day?
And honestly, if you're going to go through all that trouble, just make a mobile order at Contemporary and go pick it up.
They will not allow mobile orders anymore. I have been stopped for that. It has to be a dining reservation for them to allow you on the to park on site.
And now they're even giving out those little placards to put in your car that this is a dinner reservation that's only good for 3 hours. They don't put a time that you got there though. So
right.
Kind of like
they've given those out, especially like the Grand Floridian. You're parking across the street.
Right. We got one at Polynesian for the first time when we went for Ohana breakfast, and it just said breakfast. So yeah, at 12 o'clock, they might come tow the car at 1 or 2 because their breakfast is until 11. So what's the point? Put a time on there. When I first started going to Disney, and they said it was free transportation. I'm like, how do they check this stuff? Like, how do you know if you're staying outside or not? I didn't understand. Scan your room key when you got on the bus or whatnot. So they were scanning magic bands and media when you got on the bus at Disney Springs. I'm kind of excited if it's going to help mitigate, longer lines at these resorts during heavier flows so that you're not trying to cram all these people in that are just trying to save a little bit of money.
Well, then I can't remember back far enough, but someone said the whole reason they actually stopped buses from Disney Springs to the park was because people were kind of abusing that. And that's why now they only go from Disney Springs to the resorts to help cut down on that. But I can't remember far back enough if I remember the buses going from a park to Disney Springs.
We had taken buses from the park to Disney Springs, but we had never taken buses from Disney Springs to the park. I think that was kind of, smart-ish because you still can't park at Disney Springs. You can be let off. You can Uber at Disney Springs, but you can still get Ubered over to Magic Kingdom and it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah. And even you're not going to get dropped off close to Disney and to Magic Kingdom if you Uber, but you're also, if you're Ubering to a resort, you're still going to have to walk or ride a monorail or something. You know what I'm saying? There's no close-up option. So might as well just, like you said, just might as well Uber and just not budget 2 extra hours.
Yeah, it's $30, guys. It's not it's a big deal in the scheme of things, but it's really not a big deal.
I mean, and it's not like reservations. I'm sorry, Siobhan, I talked over you.
When you're paying that much money for a ticket, what's another $30? Like, just
it's not like the food is cheap. So if you're already going to pay that much money for food, if you have a reservation or something, like,
just don't get that balloon. Or, carry your bottled water in. Where it could come in handy, though, is this new ticket that Disney announced over the past week, which was the After 2 at all 4 parks. So I could see people, talking about losing precious time. Well, if you had an After 2 ticket, being able to park at Disney Springs and go to Magic Kingdom at 2 p.m., you're not losing anything. You're getting in late. It's a good, I don't know if it's a good deal. Like, look at Animal Kingdom. It doesn't stay open until 6 p.m., right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're only getting 4 hours in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I did some price comparisons, and it really depends on the dates because, for instance, like my family's going over 4th of July weekend, and the price difference was actually, I think, only like $75, and that was, I was pricing a 2-day ticket. So for reference, a 2-day park hopper I can't remember if I did park hopper and base ticket, but just a 2-day, it only saves $75, and you're losing how many hours not getting to
Precious
start until,
hours.
Yeah.
Precious
yeah, like
hours.
that's a lot. And so, I mean, we ultimately decided it was not worth it for us, but I think other people found larger savings on different dates that probably aren't as like popular, but
Yeah, I think
it
4th of
definitely
July was the
varied.
most
There's a big
expensive week,
swing
right?
in what the savings could be.
I think 4th of July was the most expensive week for that page. Like, and then like the week or two after, it's one of the cheaper weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it's comparing to the tickets, and you're seeing like $60 to $80 difference. Just pay for that difference, and you can get that early. You can get in there in the morning and ride more rides than when you get there at 2:00.
Yeah.
Worst thing about 2:00 at Magic Kingdom is you're coming in right when the Festival of Fantasy Parade is about to step off. So everybody's sitting on Main Street. You've got to try to navigate your way through Main Street at that time.
And not to mention, like you said, July. That's like the hottest part of the day,
And
where
the
you
rush.
could go early and then maybe break somewhere, eat a long lunch in the air conditioning, and avoid that peak sun time.
And think about
And
the
if this was
thunderstorm.
like a once a year family vacation, the 4-day ticket that allows you, for a cheaper price to visit each of the parks one day is a much better value if you were trying to look at it in an overall vacation package.
I mean, I guess I figure where this might come in handy is maybe if you were visiting and you were trying to hit like a Universal in the morning, like you didn't have that much time and you wanted to fit a lot of stuff into one trip. So you're like, okay, we'll do like Universal in the morning and then go over to Disney in the afternoon. Or I was trying to think of scenarios where it would only make sense to go
It's still
in
a
the
lot because
afternoon.
you're dealing with high-flow traffic.
I mean, that was my thing, but when they put these things out, you're trying to be like, well, who does this suit the best? Like, if I were going to sell this ticket,
If
who's
there
my
was a
target
1-day
that I was going
ticket,
to?
it would be great for a check-in day, like an add-on for a
Yeah.
check-in day. But it's minimum 2 days, and that's where we just couldn't figure out how to make it work. Because I said I just don't want to sit around for our second day until 2.
It's like you're like, who are they marketing this towards? Like, what is the target they're trying to hit right here with
And
this?
you also got to think when we went in September, it rained right at 3:00. So I mean, you're talking about let's get into the park. So can you imagine
Thing.
spending the money on an after 2 ticket, and then like it starts raining, starts storming, and you can't ride some of the good rides in whatever park you're in because they're closed due to the thunderstorm. You're talking Splash Mountain, Thunder Mountain, Seven Dwarfs, Sky School. Those all shut down because of lightning.
So do we think we know why Disney put this promo out there?
Low attendance projections.
I wish they would have done the half off kids tickets again. I'm not gonna lie, I was really hoping to be able to promote that offer because I think that ended up being a much better savings for families, especially families with 3 or 4 kids or groups going together.
You pair it with the free
That was
dining that's
awesome.
going on right now for kids. I mean, it would have made perfect sense.
That 4-day magic ticket, they didn't offer it last year, but they brought it back for this year. So 2 years ago when it was available, it was a big seller for me. The 4-day base ticket, that's to each of the parks. So I'm glad that they brought that back.
Yeah,
I have had a few people choose that and that were originally even only going to do 2 days, but the price was so much better that they are doing the 4-day because even if they only get to go for a little bit on their short weekend trip, it's worth it to them to get to see all 4 parks in a short weekend and, save some money.
And not be rushed. Like if you have a
Yeah.
2-day ticket, you kind of feel like if you do want to do a 4 parks, you've got to like kind of rush through them. But 4-day ticket, you go to each park and just spend your time as you want to.
and that's what we're looking at with 4th of July as well. We're going down right before we get on the Destiny. And do we want to do just one park a day? Because that would make it easy and just do that. Because Travis can't ride a lot of rides, and if he can, he doesn't want to ride them because he's still kind of scared of roller coasters and stuff like that. But we'll leave halfway through the day to go swim. We're going to go to Universal and Epic one day. So why not just build that in and just know we're going to go to Magic Kingdom for one day and then go to Epcot for, one day and Animal Kingdom for half a day. We've got an opening date for Big Thunder Mountain.
Yay!
which is May 3rd. I'm super
Finally.
excited after over a year of it being closed. The big news, besides for all the stuff that they've redone, they've changed the ride height. It used to be at 40 inches, and now it's at 38. So even though Travis probably won't ride it, he could ride it.
Mm-hmm.
Now he could have rode it at 40 inches. I think he's barely 40, but I'm just excited to get back on this
I'm
coaster.
excited. I'll be there
It's been
that
a
day.
long time.
How many times are you going to ride it that day, Siobhan?
We'll see how the line goes.
It's
Are you
probably
going to be there?
long.
Oh, you will be there that day.
I will be.
Maybe I will.
Come on.
It's been completely retracked, so it should be a smooth ride for 5-6 years and start getting bumpy. But they've also added a lot to it with coloring and a lot of the effects. So I'm excited to see how much it looks maybe to Disneyland.
Yeah, me too. I like in Disneyland when you're going up the hill and the sparks are.
Yeah, the
sparks,
TNT's going across and everything
Yes,
like
I
that.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that. So I really do hope that they bring that to Disney World.
And you'll actually get to ride this one and then go out to Disneyland just over a month later and be able to see the correlation between
Right.
the two and what difference. I'll go after. So a couple of weeks ago, this actually broke about the same time our last episode came out. Some of the plans when Reedy Creek was being demolished and the new tourism district of Central Florida was being rebranded into what it is today. One of the journalists at Sentinel, I think, was able to acquire some of the documents that they put forth for the all the meetings. And it came out that Disney had plans to build 1 to 2 hotels in Magic Kingdom, which I thought was really weird, first and foremost, because I just don't think of places it could go. But also it could be really successful because if we look at what Japan did with Tokyo, with the Fantasy Springs Hotel, people are lining up to get those hotels. And then you look at Helio and how much you're charging for those rooms that look into Epic Universe. The question here is, if Disney was to go forward with this, which they still could, there's no one saying that they're not going to do this. It's just that they had plans. Where do you think you'd want to see a hotel in Magic Kingdom?
It's going to be where Villains Land is supposed to be, right, Jason?
I've heard that one. You
I
haven't
would
been listening. have
Need
you?
it like on top of the train station. That's because so I could see right down Main Street and I could see the castle and the
Kind of
fireworks.
like
all in
Disneyland
one.
Paris has theirs.
Yeah, I would like that.
That would be nice. One
But
of the
then, like,
rumors-
would you be like trapped there? When the park hours are closed?
No, it would be on the border. So you'd have your Grand Californian and the Disneyland Paris, Disneyland Hotel, where it's has a separate entrance into the park. But then you go outside the park the other way.
I mean, I definitely don't think it's a crazy idea. I think it's definitely a money-making idea if they do something like that. Yeah, I mean, I think any of the edges, they could make it work. If you
when
put
I think
a hotel with an entrance into Magic Kingdom, people will line up for it.
Sell the mess out of that.
I think though it can't work in certain places, like Tomorrowland. There's so much backstage right there in between Magic Kingdom and
They'll just take out Carousel of Progress.
No, they won't.
Yeah.
That is my favorite, and I will.
Just like Jason will riot by himself.
Actually, there's one other person I know of that would riot with me. So, but he's only like 16.
I thought you were going to say he's 16.
No, he's 16.
I didn't like that. It was my ringtone for a long time. I'll write it with you next time.
That was what we walked down the aisle to. Was a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. So, but I don't think a hotel right there would work. One, because you have to integrate it to be a very futuristic hotel, and I like the way Contemporary sits off to the back as a backdrop. But just that the train station, the monorail station, all the back of house is right there. So you'd have one side of the hotel overlooking that. The other side of the hotel would kind of be overlooking backstage Tomorrowland. But to Siobhan, I do think that Villains Land would be a good place.
A villain themed hotel, kind of.
Yeah, very dark.
Yeah, like a kind of gothic, but Disney gothic, not legit gothic.
Not dark warm. I can walk through with severed hands all over the place.
God, no. Well, I was going to say, if they had like a big, like, Maleficent's castle, like a dark, I think that'd be cool. And then you could, like, look across and you could still see, like, Space Mountain and all the other stuff that you can see lit up. But I think that'd be pretty.
You just go with the villain's theme. You just don't do it like the Galactic Star Cruiser. You don't make a story thing or anything like that.
Yeah. Like
here it is.
Like coordinating, not matchy.
Yeah. You can on the villain's land side of things, it could be, Gaston's Inn or something like that where you come in, but once you go in, it's just a hotel.
Like a medieval castle-y kind of vibe, like you said, from the outside, because it would fit in with that kind of fairy tale stuff. But like in the inside, it wouldn't be gross and dark and dungeony.
They had this rumor a few years ago too with Epcot that they were going to build a hotel at the entrance of Epcot, and that I think COVID came through that, so we never got it. I don't think Epcot needs a hotel at the front. I think that would take away from Spaceship Earth.
I don't think I would like that.
Like you said, I feel like that's too like parking lot-y kind of. I don't think there would be any pretty views if you did like a hotel over there or anything. It just.
Yeah, if you did something like at Magic Kingdom over on Adventureland side, in between Grand Flow and Adventureland, like you'd have to put it off the monorail because I don't think they would want a monorail stop in between the Grand Flow and the park.
Well, they're just never going to want to take the monorail down for like months to add in a new stop.
Well, they wouldn't because they never took the monorail down when Polynesian was redoing their.
But they didn't add. But the tower doesn't have a stop.
No, but they redid the portache, and the monorail goes right over it. Yeah, whatever. I'm not fancy. I'm from Alabama. But they pretty much tore the whole thing down and rebuilt it, and the monorail kept running. There just wasn't a stop at Poly.
Yeah.
So they could build around it.
But I'm saying, I just think, don't put me near the monorail and then tell me that I can't hop on the monorail to go to the park.
And especially for the price point, that'd probably be,
Yeah, I was going to say, it would have to have like direct entrance, like a dedicated into, almost like Disneyland, like you go through your security and everything, like you walk out and like, there's the park.
Oh, if it's in Magic Kingdom, you best believe you're going to be paying like $800-900 on the off season, and when it came to Christmas, you're going to be paying $2,000-3,000.
Yeah, but that's almost.
That's what I'd be afraid of is what they would be charging for that.
It wouldn't. I mean, obviously, wouldn't be cheap because people would want, and that would be like the theme park facing view. You probably get the
like deluxe plus.
Yeah,
but I think there is a certain people that would pay for that of the convenience of it. That would,
there are people who are paying for a bungalow.
That's what I'm saying. There's a market for it, and
they're building more cabins. They got the A-frame cabins going up at the new.
Yeah, Fort
Lakeside Lodge.
Yeah, and then they have the other ones at
Lakeshore Lodge. One of the two.
They look cute.
There's Reflections, and then they just changed it because they can't. They got so much backlash on how it looked. They just said, no, it's not the same thing, but it is.
But if you think about it, if you come in from the back way that way too. I mean, just think of like if you had early park entrance, like the rides you could hit because you don't have to come through the main entrance. Even monorail and everything all comes through the main entrance of the park and has to go down Main Street and everything before you get to rides. If you stayed in that resort and then you came in, your security and stuff was done like at the gate. You just walked into the back end, like you said, of Fantasyland, Adventureland. Just think of everything you could hit while the monorail was still deplaning, but there's not a plane. I don't know. You're getting off the monorail and then going through, the ding ding and the security and everything. So
ding ding is a tap style.
Ding ding.
It's deboarding the monorail, and it's the tap style.
The tap style. You act like that's a common term. The tap style.
It is in the Disney community. Why are you on a podcast about Disney? You don't know it's the tap style.
I'm just saying. You act like that. The portache work. You're like, I'm not fancy. It's a tap style.
It's a turnstile when it has the little thing, and it's the tap style because you tap your Magic Band, your card, your Apple Watch.
For the lay people, a ding ding.
A ding. Ding, ding, ding,
it's
ding.
not even a sound, Terry. I would give it to you if you made the correct sound.
I wish I could make a sound for the, when it turns from the green to the blue. I wish I could make a sound for that. In my brain, there's a sound. And that kind of sounds like a ding-ding.
Even going back on like the Villains Land thing, if you put the hotel there, you're hitting the newest attractions and what they want to be the most popular attractions first thing in the morning. You have first access to those. And you're only talking about a few thousand people going straight to that. So depending on the capacity of rides right there, You could go on that brand new e-ticket attraction first thing in the morning and not have to worry about it for the rest of the day. And you can go hit cars after that, and you can go to whatever else they've decided to go, and it's all right there. So it makes sense if they put something in that area that they're building.
Well, in 2035, we'll see if it happens. Can't even feel about Villains Land. Like I feel like yes, it may happen, but it's just still so far off that like I can't let myself get excited yet.
I'm not excited for it. I mean, my stance on it is changed, but it's still closer to the it's not happening thing. I see it that Disney wants it to happen. We just haven't seen what they want to do. So it's kind of like, I think D23 will probably get some solid proof.
But do you think they would even break ground on like a Villains Land before the cars and all that?
Technically, they have.
I mean, but do you think they'll even start on that design before the cars and everything is finished?
They should have already started, like, since they've announced it so long ago, they should have already started designing and everything like that. But
yeah,
of it saying, hey, we are now re-going on this and you can spend more money and actually go all out on this. That makes me think that everything they were proposing was just like halfway what Disney wanted to do. And now it's like, okay, we're going to do big. So we got to go back to the drawing board and actually make this big.
Do you think a little part of them knew Epic was happening? So they were like, let's tap the brakes and let's just see what they're cooking over there before we finalize anything over here in case our plans aren't grand enough?
Well, according to Bob Iger, before this was a few years ago, somebody asked on the shareholder meeting, they said, hey, Universal's opening Epic. What are y'all going to do to answer? And he goes, well, we knew Epic was being built 10 years ago. So what we've been doing the past 10 years is what's to compete with Epic.
I think that they waited to see what Epic would be before they finalized. That way they could be bigger, grander. Now they just got to get stuff moving.
Well, here's a little, I didn't put it in the show notes. One of my coworkers who's also a Disney fan, he brought a video to my attention. It's like That Park Pod or something like that. It's a horrible channel. And I think it's an Epcot, or not an Epcot. I think it's an April Fool's video because they're like, Epic, Disney is building a fifth gate. It's going to be over by World of Sports, and it's going to be game themed. And this guy at work, he's like, no, this is all true. They have the receipts and everything like that. I'm like, if they had the receipts, so would every other Disney outlet.
I was going to say, every media outlet that they leak stuff to would have the same information.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's April Fool's. But on top of it, Disney doesn't own any gaming rights. Like they used to own Avalanche Studios, and they shut that down. They shut down multiple game studios that they have bought in the past. So you had like Disney Infinity, whoever made that. Like I just said, Avalanche. There was this one called Split Second that They made a game called Split Second. I can't remember the actual studio. The rumor is that Disney was looking at buying Epic Games, which is Fortnite.
Been there.
Disney would not build a theme park based on video games because that would not, like, popular games today there's no guarantee they're going to be popular in 20, 25 years.
No, and also I feel like Disney with their ideas and, their morals that they stick around, there's not very many popular video games outside of Nintendo, which obviously is at Universal, that are like not blood, gore, those kind of things that Disney stays away from.
You're not going to make a Fortnite game where the whole game is based on you in a battle royale killing everybody.
Just things like that I don't think Disney would put their name behind and then make a whole theme park around things like that.
Here's a fact of Terry that no one knows. She's actually a ranked Fortnite player. She doesn't want anybody to know this, but she is internationally ranked in the top 50 of Fortnite players.
I would die coming off the bus. If you've ever played Fortnite, you know what that means. The little thing that drops you in, I'm getting shot before anybody.
When you're not supposed to be dying, I died anyway. I will be on the side of I don't think Disney needs a theme park. I think they need to focus on the parks they have outside of Magic Kingdom because Magic Kingdom has so much going on. With Studios, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, they need more happening in those parks to keep people there all day. And I know like Hollywood Studios, they're working on it. And Animal Kingdom, they have a few new things coming online. But there's still something like 40 attractions in Magic Kingdom.
There do need to be more rides in other parks to keep you there all day.
Let's go back to hotels for a minute, because I do want to talk about the refreshed rooms that have come out for Port Orleans Riverside. If anybody's ever stayed in the Princess rooms, they've got a brand new look.
Fun fact, those are my husband's favorite rooms.
Why?
Because he likes Port Orleans because it's quiet and it's not Disney looking.
We're saying
he's also from Louisiana, so
well, that makes sense. I like French Quarter. That's my favorite Disney hotel. So that's where we're staying 4th of July. But Riverside, I'd like. It's big. That's the thing I don't like.
It's big. It's quiet if you're not into over theming and you want a respite from the crowds.
So have y'all seen what the new rooms look like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are y'all's thoughts?
I like that they're lighter. I just don't think that they're a very big theme. Like, I don't think that they look very princessy, but I do like that they're lighter and not dark like they used to be.
But I would not pay extra for that room. Like, if you just
Mhm.
because it has a different name, I'm not paying extra just for that special headboard that lights up.
Right. I really feel like the way the rooms. Yeah, I agree, Siobhan, that the rooms were dark, but I do like that they're very princess Easter egged. Where you had the magic carpet, you had Mrs. Potts in there, you had the Luna and Tiana, you had the Prince silhouettes. It was a lot going on, but it was worth the money because there was a lot to look at. And now it's just like you took. I know I've said this multiple times on this podcast. Every Disney room looks exactly the same. You've just put a little bit of a change on it from the other rooms in that resort. And it's enough for you to be like, hey, look, it's Princess. Well, we're going to charge $50 to $60 more a night for you to stay in this room that has a light-up headboard.
Pay for that light-up headboard a lot.
I do think the light-up headboard looks better than the one they had. Like, it looks different, like a daylight, nighttime feel to it.
Yeah.
And what it looks like. I personally wouldn't stay there. I put some clients there earlier this year. And they're really bougie, like the husband is, and he likes the nicer hotels. So it was a girls' trip. I'm like, well, y'all should try this Princess room because they're fixing to retheme, and I don't know what they're going to be. And they enjoyed it. They wouldn't stay there again, but they enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's like one of those places like you knock off the list of I stayed here and I got to experience it. But I think Disney fell into the millennial gray, quote unquote, trend that you see now where everyone's home that was millennial gray for the past 5 to 10 years. It was very minimalistic and everyone took out the clutter and everything was organized. And now the big trend now is, not to make your home cluttered, but to make your home look lived in again. So I think when Disney fell headfirst into doing their room remodels, they went really, really minimalistic with things. And I mean, I feel like for things like Coronado Springs and places like that, it works because that's the crowd you're going for. They may not be Disney, or your nicer, your deluxe resorts or places like that where I feel like they're more adult themed. So they need to be more adult decorated, your contemporaries and things like that. But I feel like you can't take all the whimsy out of every resort and minimalize it because kids still like a light up headboard, little things like that make them feel like it's a magical vacation and not just a, souped up Holiday Inn.
When you say at Pop Century, you really want that over the top.
Yeah.
Cartoon, like, because you're walking into a huge football to walk up the stairs. You
got a yo-yo outside your resort that's I don't know how many feet tall, but it's huge.
Yeah, and then you go into the moderates. There's still some over the topness to them. Then the deluxe DVC is more homey feel, where it's
no one's gonna go into contemporary and want over the top Mickey Mouse.
I don't know. Just look at the Disneyland Hotel. When you look at that, it's over the top everywhere. The carpet in the rooms, fireworks, and then you have the firework headboard. People, I've just spent $2,000 for a trip.
I think it's fun when it's got lots of color and things to look at. It's part of what makes the trip special is that it doesn't look like every other hotel room when you're traveling the country.
Like if you go to a Sandals resort, you want your resort to feel tropical and serene. Like you don't want all the busy color palettes and things like that. You want the natural light to come through with plants, and you want to see the water. So I think Disney needs to kind of maybe slow down some on it's kind of like they went too far into making everything so Disney, and now when they pull back the reins too much. They just kind of need to keep some of the whimsy in there.
I don't know. I wonder if it's because I think they got a lot of backlash on the Incredibles rooms at Contemporary. Like I think a lot of people don't like them, and maybe that's why they took a step back for those. But I think that, to your point, I think that the value in the moderates. I think that they should have those themings like that. Mm-hmm. That people want them.
Like you don't want over the top and grand flow. Like when you walk in that resort, you feel there's a sort of theme that you feel walking in there. So you don't want characters popping out everywhere there.
That they put in Grand Flow, the Mary Poppins stuff, it's very subtle. The
delicate
Mulan stuff they've put into Polynesian, very subtle. It's there.
Right.
It's in the kind of hidden into the design. You go in Contemporary, and it's in your face. Every room in your face. Incredibles. And I'm like, I'm paying
bright orange.
Yeah, I'm paying this much money to stay at this resort to look like a room that should be at Pop Century.
Sometimes with Contemporary, I feel like sometimes they lose their way.
Well,
it's almost like they don't know what to do with it.
It's in their name, the Contemporary Resort. They should.
I know, but I think Contemporary means so many things to different people, means so many different things. I think it was meant to, because the building looks futuristic and it's right there and you look over Tomorrowland. And I think that's what some people envision, but that's not, it's like what Siobhan said, that's not what people want when they go into their room there. They don't want superhero, futuristic Tomorrowland vibe. They want a nice, updated, upscale room.
I'm going to pitch this to Disney. So, Lauren, you can send this to the people that, are above you that might listen. Redo All-Star movies. Mighty Ducks is a great movie. It had a great little TV show on Disney Plus that has since been pulled for tax write-off. How many people have watched Mighty Ducks in the last 25 years? How many of our kids know who the Mighty Ducks are besides the hockey team? They don't know the movie. Retheme that to an Incredibles. Retheme each one of those movies. You keep Toy Story. Obviously, you still very much devoted into Toy Story.
Like the Pixar movies, like you said, Incredibles and everything. Pixar movies.
Your all-star movies should be your all-star movies. Every time you refresh it, just go, okay, we're going to put some money into this and rebrand these to some of our top movies. Fantasia, I love it. I have one of the characters tattooed on my leg. My son knows Fantasia only because I make him watch Fantasia. But I don't know the last time I watched Fantasia 2000.
Fantasia was a scary movie as a kid.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you.
I have the big scary guy on my leg.
Yeah.
So that's your main pool, though, is Fantasia and Fantasia 2000. And Sorcerer Mickey, obviously, every kid knows and loves. You could rethink the whole movies to stuff and Herbie's back there. When was the last time they made a Herbie the Love Bug movie? It was Lindsay Lohan's movie.
Lindsay Lohan before Rehab.
Yeah. Like right before Rehab, too. It wasn't like here she's going into rehab in 10 years. This is like, oh, she got done with this movie. She went into rehab.
Yes. Movies need to be like, not what we enjoyed as kids, as 40-year-olds, but like what our kids would love walking into a resort and seeing like their favorite movie. I mean, Frozen, Moana, all of these. That they just, that they sing the songs. They know all the words.
To me, that's where Disney needs to put their money. They need to go back and just redo some of these value resorts to make them up to date a little bit more.
Especially those, because, when somebody tells me they want to stay at a value, I'm booking Pop. Because of the Skyliner, it's such a huge game changer.
We stayed at All-Star Sports for one night this last trip because it was cheap. Like when we put out how much we were going to pay at Aventura for the night, plus paying for parking at Disney. It's like, well, let's just stay at All-Star Sports because it comes out to be about the same price.
Right.
So we did that, and it was just for the one night. We wouldn't have stayed all week at All-Star Sports because it was also cheerleader season, and it's like, you don't want to hear that all.
Well, I also feel like when you have people that are not quote unquote like value shopping or like within a budget. Like they know where they want to go at Disney World. They're like, I want to say Polynesian, Contemporary, Grand Flow, Port Orleans, or whatever. Sometimes your value resorts are harder sells. Even though they're great resorts, people hear value and, they don't, want to hear it necessarily, or they don't feel like it's a great value. But if you went through and you revamped, All-Star movies and you're like, hey, your little girl loves Moana and she loves Frozen. And so this is the perfect resort for her to go to. And it's this much less than if you were to stay at Grand Floridian or somewhere else. And when she goes in, she gets to see a huge Anna and Elsa over here, and you go to the pool and it's Moana themed. And I mean, I just think that a parent might be like, oh, for sure. That's a no-brainer, like you said, and it would be a selling point to update it.
Also think they've started to really do characters at the resorts again.
Yeah.
You sat there and said All-Star movies, where the Incredibles are, where Toy Story, like you said, Frozen, Moana, whatever. Those characters come into All-Star movies and do meet and greets for those resort guests. That's like an
random Tuesday at the pool.
Yeah.
You might see Frozen from Incredibles or something.
So that's and then you could charge $300 a night for an All-Star room. Like, there you go.
Or people feel like they're getting something for you because, there's no quote unquote cheap Disney trip. Even your less expensive Disney trip it's an investment. People save up for those things. So even if they're getting a quote unquote cheaper trip, the value of that trip would be a lot more if Disney would put a little more effort into making their value resorts worthwhile.
Right now, like, me and Allison have the youngest kids of us four. Going to the All-Stars, that's a big thing for them because there's so much that, like, they'll remember the over-the-topness of it.
Yeah, the bright colors.
And
once they get to the little bit older, the first, second, third, fourth grade type stuff, that's when, French Quarter, Caribbean Beach, those type things start coming in because they don't want the colors. They want the rides. We're not going to spend so much.
Matt Rosen used to my kids that this is absolutely the last time we're singing pop. He said, we'll never do this again. And my kids think Pop Century is like the Ritz. They think it's the best place in the world. They're heartbroken. I mean, like I said, we've paid for many nights with the light up headboard at Port Orleans and other places. We took them to Pop one time on a whim. And they're like, this is the nicest hotel we have ever been in.
If I'm not at a deluxe, you'll find me at Pop. Like it's going to be either or. I mean, I do love Caribbean Beach. I'm a Caribbean Beach fan. I feel like that's a hot topic. But for the price, if I'm not staying at a deluxe for those amenities,
you can't beat it.
You'll find me at Pop with the Skyliner.
Same thing, Terry. My kids, we stayed at Art of Animation once, and for a night. Like it was either pre or post club level, whatever it was. And we stayed at Art of Animation, and they just thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Like, why have you been keeping me in the boring hotels? Like, right. This is the place to be. Why have you kept me in the boring places?
That's what we need to do with Travis is stay at Art of Animation. I need to book a trip there so that
I was gonna say when you see like the huge Ursula and everything there, they love it.
I think that's also something we can all agree on, though, is even though you're staying at a value, that the way the Disney cast members act and treat you at those values make you feel like you're still at the Ritz.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're not paying what club level at Boardwalk's paying, but you sure enough get treated like you're staying at the Boardwalk club level because those cast members care about your vacation.
I agree with.
So the last thing I have on the agenda for us is over on my favorite park side, which is Universal. We will have training later this year here, so we can actually probably see some of this when we go. But Universal has actually started putting fencing up around Lost Continent stuff, which is the area in between Dr. Seuss and the Hogsmeade. So the demo, I don't know, I think the demo has started on the Sinbad show. And it's supposed to move over to the Poseidon's Fury later this year. And by the end of the year, that whole area is supposed to be demoed for a future coming attraction.
What do you think it is?
I was fixing to ask, what would y'all like to see there?
I'm not sure if I know all of Universal's like top IP.
Their property. Yeah. I know we talked about this last time and we designed it on the podcast, but in one ear out the other, I cannot remember what we decided it should be.
So Alicia over at Park Stop, who does a lot of digging into permits and all that stuff, she wants to believe it's a Pokemon themed land. And then I've also heard that it's Zelda. And we've got a lot of stuff going on at Epic right now. They're building a new multi-use space across from the Atlantic. They've started work on the new Harry Potter attraction, and there was files permitted for a new unknown attraction being built at Epic. So we don't know where it's going to be or what it's going to be themed to.
Lord of the Rings is what Micah wanted.
Yes.
I do remember that.
And I'd want that too. I think
she wanted her portal into Lord of the Rings land.
Walking into the Shire would be crazy fun. And then seeing one of the towers or Helm's Deep back there, that would be crazy. But Pokemon, I think Pokemon would be fun.
Pokemon's a cash cow, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because people my age, when Pokemon started, and yours, Jason, still love it. And my kids, while they're not like crazy about Pokemon, they still are interested in it. And depending on which little group of friends they're like, their summer camp friends collect cards. So in the summer, we always have to like buy cards and buy stuff to trade and everything.
Well, you better start buying them now, because I was in Target yesterday in customer service, and the guy in front of me said, "Do you have any Pokemon cards?" "No, we're all out. We sold them." You better start now.
So you have a 40-year audience if you do like a Pokemon land. Like you've got...
Yeah, it's the same thing that you've done with Super Mario. Like you have generations of people who have played this. Travis, we play Pokemon Go when we're in the parks, and Travis likes to play on my phone with it. We don't play it anywhere else. Like he doesn't watch any Pokemon shows. He doesn't collect any of the cards. But he plays Pokemon Go with me when we're in the park.
I mean, I think if they want to cash in, that would be the best way to go. I think if they want to keep the look of the land consistent, then you would have to either do like the Zelda or the Lord of the Rings type. If you're going from Harry Potter to that, to keep that.
Well, I mean,
aiming consistent, but
you still have to look at it. You're coming from Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Something like that. So the theming there is just not going to.
And I think Pokemon is the way to go.
Which I don't know if any of the VIPs y'all been on have told you about like why Islands is set up the way it is. It's the Universal Studios itself is built based off of movies, so everything in there was originally a movie IP. But when you went to Islands of Adventure, everything is based off literature. It's one reason it's a riverboat ride for Jurassic Park, because it was a riverboat in the book, not a SUV. But on top of it, when you walk over, there's bridges. So you're actually on an island every time you walk over a bridge to the new part of the area. So they're getting away from that theme when they bring in a Zelda or a Pokemon. They kind of got away with it anyway when they did the King Kong, because I don't think there's a King Kong book, or that's not where he started from.
It's probably a book now, but prior to the movies, probably not.
But the ride itself is actually based off of Peter Jackson's movie, and it just doesn't make sense. But I'm excited to see whatever comes. Universal's, will have this built and open before Cars Land opens.
You're right.
About it.
I just hope it's another ride similar to like your Harry Potter type rides, and less similar to like the Men in Black type Spider-Man rides they have. Does that make sense? Even though they're not roller coasters per se, but
there was a permit for a dark ride for Zelda that was a boat / hanging ride. So at one point you're riding a boat through, and then all of a sudden magic picks you up and you go to like an ET style attraction where you're flying over the land. That would be cool. I mean, it'd still be a dark ride. You wouldn't be able to do a lot of cool things, but it's something we haven't seen before.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I just feel like the Men in Black, the Spider-Man, the Mummy, all those are kind of the same ride. As far as, I just feel like you're in the car, and the car does different things. I don't know.
You're on a roller coaster on the Mummy.
Maybe. I don't know.
There's no maybe. You are on a roller coaster.
They all run together in my head. Maybe not the Mummy, but I feel like those 3D-esque rides all tend to like blend together in your brain, because there's not a lot of difference.
I would say like the Harry Potter, the Forbidden Journey, Spider-Man, Jimmy Fallon, Transformers, those all have that 3D, even Minion Mayhem, which isn't 3D anymore. They all have that same feel. And I agree. They really got to a point where they were overdoing it. And
Need something new and fresh.
but they've heard
Hanging is okay, like you said. If you went from a boat to hanging, that's different.
Hang-
Not
Yeah.
us just suspended. I mean, the Monsters Inc. coaster is supposed to be a suspended car ride. Let me say that instead of hanging. So, I feel like we need to do more of that than just like little cart that goes forward and jerks back, and there's water that sprays at some point, and all that stuff that's been done.
I think Universal will deliver. Universal's been doing real good on trying to up the ante on what they can do and how well they can do it.
Like
Whether-
Monsters,
you know,
really cool.
Monsters love Monsters.
Did not even think I would like Monsters 'cause I don't know really any of those stories. I don't like horror stuff, but that was my favorite ride.
I
An
love
epic.
that ride.
Yeah.
I love it.
Huh?
But yeah, that I think I would like to see Pokemon. The rumor was Pokemon going over to Simpsons, that Universal was just going to cease the contract with Simpsons. They were demoing that Pokemon there. But there's a rumor now that that's not off the table. Like Simpsons will stay. Like Universal will negotiate it back for a few more years to let stuff build up
Why?
so they can build other places. You know, they got Orlando Drift opening in USO. So that means that the Fast and Furious ride is fixing to go dark itself, and they're going to have to retheme that. So why they don't do multiple land projects at once in their lands? They do one project and then open it and then move to another one. So if they go ahead and move over there, they could sign a 2-year deal with Disney for Simpsons, and then in 3 years open up I don't know, Donkey Kong or something. Tetris land. That'd be weird.
For the nerds.
You can sit
I
there
love
and play
Tetris.
big Tetris. You have big blocks and you just go do.
I wish I knew more about Pokemon or Zelda or Lord of the Rings to expand on any of those
I don't know
ideas. But
anything about those.
I don't know.
I would say the cool thing with Pokemon would be Pokemon Go having a exclusive Pokemon in the land that you can only get in Universal. Like that would be fun. Or battles, stuff like
I feel
that.
like that would have a great international audience reach.
And you could do something like the power up bands. You could buy Pokeballs. Sell
You
those
could carry
right.
a ball around all day.
and point it toward the Pokemon. I carry 2 around all day.
Carrying that wand around all day was a pain in the butt. Carrying a ball around.
The old ball and chain. But the balls aren't really that. They're like real small in the movies and the comic books and whatnot. But so you just point them to a statue and you collect Pokemon. That would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And you would sell thousands of them. They would charge $60. You have to connect it to your app and all that jazz.
Like everything else.
Yes. That's one thing I do not like about Universal in the current state is how everything has its own price, like the wands, the power-up bands, all that stuff. Stop doing that.
We had to reconnect my wand last time we went. And as we had to do that, I had PTSD of when we tried to I was like, oh shit, I forgot. This was so hard to do the first time. But it worked.
And then
I was like, you have to spin it.
girl was just like, there you
I
go.
was like, she told us how to twirl it. But
That's exactly
my dumb butt thought it would automatically reconnect. It did not.
Yeah, Micah was like, you should just spin it and it worked. And we're like, no, Micah, that's not what this says.
We're like,
And
no,
we're like lighting.
it's not real magic, Micah. You don't just spin it and it works.
We went to Ollivanders and we're like, hey, can you help us? And she spun it. And Mike was like, see. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. Siobhan, Allison, it was great having y'all. I'm glad, Allison, you were able to make it, even though you've changed my opinion on you in some cases.
But yeah,
So we need all the content you are willing to share. Fill
Yeah.
us up with. Don't feel like you're over texting or anything like that if you send it on Saturday.
Okay, so this will come
Okay,
out
perfect.
after the trip. So, Allison, go ahead and plug your little trip. Are you going to make a highlight of it in your Instagram so people can go back?
Yeah, drop your Instagram handle.
Yes, and I now have a TikTok, so I'm going to need people to go over to TikTok to find this content. But yes, after this episode is already out, I will have completed what's called a down and back, and I'm flying to Disney at 6 a.m. in the morning and back home at 9 p.m. And I'm hoping to really track all of it in short form content, enough content to also then create one reel that goes through the whole day. I've got ideas, but I'm also going to be having a ticking clock in my head the whole time to make sure I make it back home on my flight. So we'll see how it goes. Once you listen to this episode, you got to go find my channel and see how it went.
So the next, I mentioned this to us to them before we start recording. That's something that we need to do as a podcast. We need to try to do this down and back. To be a pain in the butt for me because I'd have to take 2 flights at least because there's no straight shot from Montgomery to Orlando. I'd have to go all the way to Atlanta and then go. But
how
here's
far of
another
a drive
challenge.
is that? Like, I mean, I have to drive an hour and a half to the airport.
2.5 hours, and it's a time change on top of it. So 3 hours.
Yeah, it sucks.
My dream challenge to do has always been the coast to coast challenge in a day. So go do all 4 parks in Orlando, and then jump over to the West Coast and do the 2 parks over there. And I think that would be fun.
It's doable because
What are
you're
you doing
gaining
June 10th?
3 hours.
I'm flying into
Good
California
point.
at 8 a.m.
2 questions for Allison. Are you just packing a backpack, a carry-on? Like, what are you taking with you? Because you're not really staying there, but you don't want to carry whatever you're taking with you around the park.
Yep, and I also looked up your locker rental does not transfer between parks because that was one idea I had was if I take like a hoodie or something, can I put it in the locker at one park and just keep bringing it with me? And you cannot. So that is actually something I learned myself that unlike parking and some of the other things that can be transferred throughout all of Walt Disney World, the locker rentals are just for that day for that park. So I'm going to do my fanny pack, but I am bringing a light backpack. So not a typical backpack that you would take on a trip. It's definitely a lighter weight one, a smaller one, but just something that I can put an extra layer in because I do think it's going to be chilly in the morning and then in the evening. And in case I purchase anything or just to help me carry some stuff, because again, I am going to try to create some content. So I'm going to need some extra hands to hold like a water bottle or, who knows.
Battery packs.
But I use the fuel rods and I'm telling you, it's the best thing. You don't have to worry about if it runs out of charge. You just swap out for a new one.
Especially if you're a legacy user because you can still do free swaps. If you're not a legacy user, it charges, doesn't it?
Not at Disney. At Universal still charges, and I think other locations in the U.S., but Disney has an agreement with Fuel Rod. All swaps are free.
See, I'm a legacy user, so it's all free no matter what for me. Which is nice.
I am too.
We'll have you back on so you can talk about how that went and what your experience overall was, if that's something you would recommend for just a random trip. We got episodes planned out, so we got to put you in the right spot. So I can't just say we'll have you on the next episode.
Or something. I could even hop on at the end of something. But Terry, you said 2 questions. That was just your first, right?
Do you have any lightning lanes or anything that you have to stick to a schedule to be somewhere at any given point?
See, that's a good question.
I did decide to not purchase Lightning Lane Multi-Pass just because I don't know where the day is going to take me and I don't want to miss something or feel like I have to stay in a park because of a lightning lane. I didn't make any dining reservations and I'm not sure I'm going to try to hit all 4 parks. Animal Kingdom might get left out just because of the transportation, where if I stick to Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood, I can avoid the buses.
Siobhan is actually getting on a plane tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
As we're recording this tomorrow, and she's going down to Fort Lauderdale for the Destiny, which we will have you back on another episode to talk about your experience with Destiny because I'm going on that cruise later. So where can we find you to follow along on your Destiny cruise?
On my Destiny cruise, my Facebook is Siobhan Atwood with Magical Travel, and Instagram is See You Real Soon.
What do you have planned for it? Overall, what's your, just relax?
So this is a 5-night on the Destiny, and it's going to Cozumel and Castaway. And in Cozumel, I'm going to Kuza, which is a beach club, and a lot of cruise lines have excursions to go there, so that's why I chose that one. And we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to do that one because it's like an all-inclusive day. It takes 40 minutes to get there, though. I don't really love that, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
This is your first time on Destiny or second time?
It is my first time on Destiny. Yep.
So I'm excited to hear because, like I said, first time going on Destiny will be July for me. Any restaurants you're looking forward to, or are you looking for are you doing spa or anything like that?
I'm sure I'll do a spa, something in the spa. I really like the spa, going to the spa raffle, because then they always give you a deal after the raffle happens. If you don't win anything, I really like to wait for the deals there.
Yeah, it says how bad you got 2 massages.
Right.
On the wonder, she's like, I can get 2 massages.
I love it.
The price of one. I'm like, does it
know.
need 2 massages? But she got them.
It does.
Everyone needs 2 massages.
And the massage, like, then, just gotta spread it out. Anyways, for dining, I don't really know. I try not to look at anything ahead of time. I have seen some not so good reviews about Pride Lands, but I'm going in with an open mind, and I will just report back what I think about it.
That I like that you don't let other people's, because sometimes some restaurants I like other people don't like. So it's always nice and refreshing to have a different viewpoint.
Yeah, I'm just going in with an open mind for all of them. I'm excited to go to DeVille's because I love Cruella. I think she's hysterical, so I'm excited to go there.
You're going to try to get into, what's dude's name? Princess and the Frog. Facilier's. Dr. Facilier.
Dr. Facilier,
You want to try to get into his little speakeasy thing?
Yes. I'm going to need all the tips for that, Allison.
Yes, I would love to know about that one. We probably won't be able to get into it because Travis probably gets scared. But okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can find them.
I'm excited. I'm excited to go on the Destiny.
It looks like a great ship. I like touring the Wish last year and seeing what all those ships have potential wise for being on, especially after getting off the Wonder last summer, going from a small ship to a big ship. And then even seeing what Star of the Sea had with the Royal Caribbean versus what Disney has on that size.
Right. And then I get off the Destiny for a week, and then I go on the Treasure. I'm like, maybe the week after that I should go on the Wish and just, make it a...
You for sure should do that.
Maybe you should go over to Singapore and get on the adventures after that. And then you could come over to Disneyland by then.
3 nights to nowhere doesn't really appeal to me.
Yeah, I had clients that asked about it, and I'm like, it doesn't stop anywhere. And they're like, well, we're not interested. I'm like, okay, well, you're completist, so I know you'll get it one day. But so you can find Allison, Siobhan, the rest of us over at magicaltravel.com.
Did Allison drop her handles when she mentioned her TikTok?
Did you?
I don't think I did, but they're all the same. So whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, it's Allison_magical_travel. Or if you do some combination of that, I'm sure it'll pop up and you'll see me.
Siobhan's email is atwood@magicaltravel.com. And her Facebook is Siobhan at Siobhan Magical.
Say again?
Siobhan
Atwood at Magical Travel. Yeah. Okay. That's my Facebook.
So, but the rest, you can find everybody else at magicaltravel.com itself. We would all be glad to help you with your next family.
Everyone's fantastic, no matter who you choose.
Allison, Siobhan is our favorite. Allison just,
Hey, you can't hold her viewpoints against her.
I'm the host. I can do what I want.
Just saying.
Do you think Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon? Buzz Lightyear is named after him.
Yes.
So, as a Disney Toy Story fan, do you feel like Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon?
Yeah, I prefer not to answer.
You can find us all on social media at Castles to Cauldrons. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Terry's doing a great job trying to get some reels out for us. In a couple of weeks, we'll all be out at Disneyland. Not all of us, but a lot of the
agents. That is me.
So you'll be seeing a lot, hopefully, from us there. And we'll be learning a lot about what Disneyland has to offer and the hotels and everything. So look forward to that. The next episode we're going to have is with Diane from Magical Travel as well. She's one of the newer agents. But she's just getting back from her vacation from Walt Disney World, and she wanted to talk about the Disney dining plan and how we can properly use it in the now versus how Coupon Hunter, Torok, was trying to hack the Disney plan. So until the next episode, we will see you then.
Bye.
Bye.